Okay, guys, so there's one thing I want to talk about here, and it's smoothing in Maya. So I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but smoothing in Maya basically just doesn't work. And if you go to Paint, Skin Cluster Weights, you can start painting weights in Maya. You can see the weights of different pieces here. But the problem with smoothing in Maya is that, like, you can safely do add. Like you can definitely do add. You can kind of do, well, replace and scale a little bit risky because when it replaces weights, the weights that were there go somewhere else and you don't know where they go. Scale also goes somewhere else, you don't know where it goes, but usually it works quite well. But the smooth, it almost never works. Like if you start just smoothing weights, now what it's doing is just pulling random weights from all over the place, not just from this area, but it just pulls them from anywhere. So if you, let's say, smooth here, you might just get a weight from a nose or an eye jump into this area. The way around it is to lock the joints that you're currently smoothing, or like you select those joints and you like lock inverse selections. It's going to lock all the joints and you only smooth between the two. But that's actually also not working too well because first of all, the smoothing is really weak and it's not good. And so basically smoothing in Maya just doesn't work and I never use it and I recommend you also don't use it. So this is how the smoothing tool idea was born. And this is the kind of tool that actually works really well because what it does, it allows you to smooth just this selected area and it pulls the vertices from that specified area.
So we can use weight hammer to smooth weights, but weight hammer is often too aggressive. So here is the case where weight hammer is not enough.
This is pretty good, and I don't think we will see those issues too much because, well, maybe you could hammer a little bit, but hammer is sometimes like too intense. So if you just grab those points here and you hammer them, it might do too much almost. Like you see what I mean? Like it's hard to know with the hammer. This is a perfect use case for a smoothing tool that I just released to my patrons. So the smoothing tool, to install it, um, this is like what you have to copy somewhere. So I'm just gonna grab my smoothing tool here and paste it in to that folder. So in this case, what I would do, I'll basically give you this folder, you extract it, you take that or the whole thing if you want, and you paste it to the folder of choice. And then, you just have to make sure that this points exactly to that smoothing tool folder. So mine is in cwork Python smoothing tool. So in that case, what I can do is just run it because I know that it's there. And basically, it's looking for this file. So if this file is in that folder, it's going to work. Ignore this. This is some other stuff that you don't need. Anyway, if you just run this, it should open the smoothing tool. And the smoothing tool looks like this. It has kind of like a weight hammer, but a little bit better. And you have the brush strength regulation. You can just click the smooth brush, and then now it allows you to paint. And if you hold B and make it bigger, make sure to not enter the values there. You can now start smoothing. Now, if you reduce the brush intensity, it will smooth very gently. And I think that's what you need in this case to smooth this area. So as you can see, the smoothing tool is your friend. I'm going to increase that. You can play with the settings, but the best setting is if you go and do like 6 or 8 influences and then start smoothing this area like that. Okay, so maybe smooth here a little bit, right? So that's starting to look great. Now another thing about smoothing tool, it has this thing that you might or might not want to use. You can select a whole bunch of points on your mesh and just relax them. So that will smooth the whole area, but I don't want to do that in this case. Another thing that's nice about it is if you for some reason want to make sure the same area has the same weights, like that whole belt, you can just unify those weights and now this whole belt will have the same weights. It obviously doesn't work in this case because of the underlying meshes, but you want this whole thing to have the same weight, boom. And you already has, it sounds like, but basically it kind of does it. So it's good for armor pieces. And I might improve this tool in the future, but for now it's very useful and it's nice. And if you like it, what you can do is you can make a button. So you grab this command, middle drag it on your shelf, and in there you can just say, so how am I doing this? I dragged it with middle drag on my custom shelf, right click edit and go to shelves, and in there you can just say icon label smooth. So this is not really fitting here. Smooth. I can change the color. You can add a tooltip, launch smoothing tool, and you're good to go. And save all shelves. And then if you restart your Maya, you're going to have this button on your custom shelf, which starts your smoothing tool. All right. Okay, but get back to this. It sounds like we fixed the problem. The skinning is looking great. And so the walk cycle is working really well now. And we can see that this is good enough for what this game needs. As you can see, there might be some smoothing that might be done here in those areas. I can if I want to, but I gotta be careful because this game is kind of a low resolution game, so I don't really need to go crazy. And if I smooth too much, I might get some clipping here and there. So yeah, um, always play with that. Reduce the amount of uh, your brush intensity potentially. Okay. All right, guys. So I hope that was useful. I'll see you in the next one.